Hello and welcome to from Row Racing's PCF for round 6 in Monza. I'm from Row Racing DP, trying to get over the difficulties of the from Row Racing FRRI Days Cup event from Monaco earlier this evening with a few connection problems involving PSN. Hopefully we won't suffer from any of those tonight on Project Cars. Now for round 6, as I'm fairly sure I've just mentioned, it's Monza for 24 laps. Weather forecast, sunny, possible chance of rain. Joining me in the commentary box this evening is from Row Racing RI. How are you this evening, Ray?
I'm very well, how's yourself?
It's probably a bad question. No, that's not true actually. I'm all right. It is so frustrating when you're doing live shows or even just hosting events for drivers, and PlayStation Network has such a hissy fit that putting on a race becomes very, very difficult. Other than that, I'm great, and I'll tell you what, I'm looking forward to this race this evening in the LMP2s, because Monza, it's a proper racetrack. It's fast, couple of tricky corners, couple of curbs that could even roll any of these cars, and anything could happen. Now, we may just have to hang on a moment. A few more invites have been sent out to some drivers. When I last looked, we had 12 ready to start the race. So while we just hang on for a moment as Ray can check out that, I'll go through the current standings in the PCF, the Project Cars Fridays League. James Hulkenberg is leading the standings on 106 points. Followed by Dave the Harp on 87, Hesselden on 81 points, Neotig on 56, Mulrine on 51, Duofin on 45, Woolhouse on 29, Lielmo McElroy on 20, Casely on 18, Driver Montana on 15, Jonesy on 10, GT5 King on 9, and then on 0 points we've got Andy Russell, Azamore, Kev on 87, Grable, Richie Davey and Stringy B. Last week's race winner was Hesselden, qualified second place, took 25 points, and that was at Bathurst. A very, very interesting race that was. Okay, I think we're pretty much ready to go, Ray. So, I reckon we send them to the racetrack. We're going to be on for a 15-minute qualifying session, a 5-minute warm-up for the drivers, and then 24 laps of the Monza Grand Prix circuit. Not many corners, plenty of high, but the weather here could dictate everything. Now, we saw a PCS race around the short version of Monza earlier this season, and that was absolutely frantic. We could be on for a similar situation this evening, because these cars can easily hit 200, 220 mile an hour with a bit of slipstream as well. Turn 1 could easily be an overtaking place or an enormous crash place, especially at the start of the race. So as the drivers get ready then in the pit garages, Ray will keep an eye on whether all of the drivers have joined us to the pit lane. Project Cars does tend to say goodbye to a few of them, hold them up at the security gates on the way into the circuit, but it looks like we've got them all through with us, and the weather right now is looking nice and sunny. I'll pop out of the pits to pop back in so that I can have a look at the drivers, as quite a few of them have made their way out onto circuit, Duofin being the first of them. Now, he's usually in a white car, but today he's gone for Dave the Harp's Gentleman's Club. And if I'm honest, I probably would not want to go to Dave the Harp's Gentleman's Club. Would you, Ray?
Duofin's still in their pits.
Is he?
Aye.
I'm not so sure. Let's see. Oh, you're right. It was showing me Duofin's name. It must be Dave the Harp then. It must be... No, Dave the Harp's just leaving the pits now. Who was that then in Dave the Harp's Gentleman's Club?
Woolhouse is out first, and then
You're right, it was Woolhouse. So Woolhouse has signed up to David Harp's Gentleman's Club, but still, what I said goes. I still wouldn't want to go to David Harp's Gentleman's Club. No. Okay, Ray.
You come out very long. That's your lungs full of smoke.
Your lungs full of smoke and your pockets empty. Okay, Ray. We didn't have much time to preparation for commentary this evening, or at least I didn't. I have absolutely zero information about lap times, tyre wear, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm a bit of a useless commentator this evening, but I'll always find something to talk about. But I think you may have mentioned that you've got a little bit of information for us. Is there anything that you would like to disclose right now as Hesselden is overtaking Woolhouse to be the first to cross the line?
Looking at lap times, roughly 1:37s, but what Hesselden does, I don't know.
Well, with the recent races that Hesselden has had, he's either going to stick it on pole position, or he's going to get hit up the rear end by Woolhouse, who's not going to help speed him up. But I think Woolhouse has got higher arrows than Hesselden has. Woolhouse, be careful. To be honest, he's ahead of you. Back off, let him go. Hesselden is either going to stick it on pole position or be there or thereabouts. What he does with his tyres will be crucial. He's very, very good on his tyres. He's very, very quick. He won Bathurst last week doing a one-stop race when everybody else did 2 or more stops. And I do know that bugged James Hulkenberg a lot, because he felt he should have gone and won that race. So for James Hulkenberg, I think he wants to go and stick it on pole position.
Did they say I'll be back?
He didn't, but I bet he was doing. See, he may be able to do impressions of Arnie, but we're gonna have to start doing impressions of him. Here's my impression of Dave the Harp, though, the modern version. And for anyone that couldn't hear that, it was an e-cig. Anyway, Hesselden's heading down to the Parabolica. I'm not sure if he's going to be the first to cross the line, but he is one that we're definitely interested in seeing what his lap time is going to be. Now, you said, what was it, Ray, somewhere 1:37s?
Yeah.
Okay, so up to the finish line, what is it going to be? A 1:40.5. Maybe he's just getting warmed up. He has put in pole position, but he did get bumped about a bit in that first part of the lap. I tell you what, Ray, you keep an eye on Hesselden, and I'll go and find somebody else on the circuit. Dave the Harp heading down to the Parabolica. Is he on a timed lap? Yes, he is. Sector 1 of a 34.2. Sector 2 of a 35.1. Hulkenberg slower Sector 1, faster Sector 2. But Dave the Harp is about to make his way up towards the finish line. Takes a while to get there. So is he going to beat the 140? A 1:38.3. That puts him provisional pole position. Hulkenberg's gone second place with a 1:38.9. Usually likes driving in a yellow car. He's gone for something looking a little bit different this week. Bit funky, that, James. Yeah. It's not one I've seen before. Now, as we've seen in previous events, it can take a lap to get these tyres warmed up, and Monza, even if it's sunny, it doesn't really build temperature in the tyres because of the high-speed long straights. So I reckon we will see faster lap times coming. Has Hesselden improved at all, Ray? Do you know if he's up on his sectors?
No. Oh, I don't know if he's up in his sectors. I wasn't watching that. No, he's not giving me sector time, so I don't know what's going on.
Let's see. Well, his best lap so far is a 1:40.5. He may be crossing the line soon, or he's in the pits. 34.6 sector 1. I tell you what,
1:39.3.
that puts him third place. But I tell you what, I think Hulkenberg's on a good one here. This could put him provisional, only just up on Dave in sector 1. I think he was just upon him in sector 2. Oh, he's thrown it into the Parabolica, and the Parabolica has thrown him off it. That's not going to be provisional pole position. That's back to the pits for him. So Hesselden is still in third place, but he has improved his lap time. K-Slay. I know, Ray, you didn't get to see the FRI Days Cup on F1 this evening. We do know that this guy he's not been racing for long, he's not had a PS4 for long, but this guy can drive, and he just went and won the FRL Rides Cup at Monaco, and he's just taken third place off Hesselden with a 1:39.3, and he's looking fast as well as it gets a bit busy down into turn 1. There's another driver with an identical car to K-Slay. Not sure who that is. I'll tell you what, Ray, go and see if you can find out who it is in the other Lightning car, because I do like that Lightning car.
Richie Davey.
Richie Davey, he's usually in the yellow one as well. He's gone for the Lightning bolts. Elmo McElroy, watching him at the moment. Really, I need to learn how to do Elmo's giggle. Oh, he's lost it in Ascari, losing it one way, losing it the other way. Manager's just about to keep it on the tarmac. I think he may have just lost a position as well, although I'm fairly sure he did say he was in 6th anyway. Currently on a 1:42.6, and I've got a feeling he's not going to be improving on that lap time at the moment. Well, that was a very, very hairy... was it hairy, or was it a close shave through Ascari there? He's now heading up towards the start-finish line. Can he get himself into the 140s? No, he's not improved his time. Andy Russell, he's gone and popped himself into the gravel. I was going to say 5th place, but then he goes and drives into the gravel. That's always going to get a bit more attention. Okay.
Hulkenberg's back out. He's struggling in the Parabolica.
Okay, David Harp, I think, may have just improved his lap slightly. Hulkenberg's he's back in the pits. Hesselden, he's off at turn 1. I'm wondering if a few of these drivers are perhaps struggling a bit with temperature. The weather forecast says it's hazy. That means it's fairly damn hot out there on circuit at the moment. But what the drivers may have to be thinking about is the possibility that the temperatures could change at any point. Neo Tig, I've missed it, but he's gone and popped himself up to 5th place on a 1:40.5, so we'll follow him on for this lap now. And I tell you what, I do like the car he's driving, a nice chrome silver. I wouldn't be surprised though if after the first few laps that chrome is not as chrome looking anymore. So as he makes his way up to I tell you, he's making his way up to the Ascari chicane, which is a fantastic set of corners. But I do know in these cars, if your car is set up stiff, it's a horrible, tricky set of corners. But Ray, I mean, you know this circuit, you know these cars a bit. Which do you think is the most difficult circuit on this racetrack? Difficult circuit on this racetrack? I mean difficult corner on this racetrack.
With the what's it called, the Sakara chicane? Because if you hit the
Sakara chicane, sausage, do you mean the Ascari chicane, or the second chicane?
I'm Scottish, give me a break. The last chicane where Andy Russell's just coming up to, you hit the sausage curbs, they can spin you out, and because the curbs aren't flat. If you've not got your car set up right, it can just spin you mid-corner.
Yep. Can make it very, very unstable. I mean, the first corners are very tricky corners. The second chicane, very tricky corners. There's a big sausage curb there, but they're quite low speed. The Ascari chicanes are high speed corners. Gotta be confident, gotta have the ability in the car to take the corners. Now Andy Russell, is he going to improve on his lap time? He is, to a 1:40.6. That puts him 7th place. Richie Davies back in the pits, his mates ahead of him. I reckon he'll be back out on track fairly soon. Elmo McElroy is still, or at least he's now down to 9th place. Woolhouse, oh, he's wiggling through the Ascari chicane. I don't think that car's looking too stable for him at the moment. Oh, it's a car sideways. I think that's K-Slay. I think K-Slay's lost it, on the exit of the Ascari chicane. Now, K-Slay we know he can drive, so for him to lose it there just goes to show exactly what Ray was saying a moment ago, that it's not an easy set of corners. Okay, Woolhouse, what have you got? Can you improve on your lap time, or are you on an out lap? We are about to find out. With just over 4 minutes to go, and he's not improved his time, so it's quite possibly an out lap, so I reckon we'll follow him on. But Ray, if you could let us know, or at least keep an eye on whether David Harp, Hulkenberg, Hesselden are going back out on track.
Oh, Hesselden's up to second.
Oh, so Hesselden, is he on track at the moment, or is he back in the pits?
He's on track at the moment.
Okay, well, I'll stick with Woolhouse for the
top three are.
The top three are on track. Okay. Well, I am going to give Woolhouse this little bit of TV time as he goes through the second chicane. I think that's the Della Rosia chicane.
Hulkenberg's just went second.
Bloody typical. I don't go and watch him. They start doing. I'll go and watch Hulkenberg. He spins off the track. I don't watch him. He does all right. Okay, Woolhouse, you've been having what looks like a very nice lap at the moment, but apologies, I'm going to have to go and see what the guys are doing up at the front. Hulkenberg is back in the pits. No, he's leaving the pits. David Hart's coming around the final corner. Yep. Is he on a lap? He is on a lap.
He should be.
Is he going to be a faster one? Go on, Dave. Pop it in the 37s. He has done a 37.5. Hulkenberg, he's got a second to find now. But Hesselden, he's coming through the Ascari chicane.
He gave up. He's went back in the pits.
So Hulkenberg's back in the pits. I tell you what, Hesselden's had a fairly good Sector 2 time on his previous lap. But we'll see if he can get himself in. He's got 1.2 seconds to find to match Dave the Harp's lap time. But Hesselden's car could be set up to look after those tyres, because if he can do a one stop when others have to do two, could make all the difference. But what's his time going to be? It's a 38.3, is improved, but not enough. And Hulkenberg, he may not get out in time to put another lap in. Kay Slay is just about to, or is just starting another one, sat in 4th place. Is there anyone that could perhaps throw a little spanner in the works? Duo Finn in on a 140.3, as we can hear Ray crack open a can of beer, trying to do it nice and quietly. You swine.
No, that's a dog chewing a bottle.
Oh right, fair enough. I thought you was going to say that's the dog opening a can of beer. Okay, Duo Finn didn't improve on his lap time, but he could be just starting a flying lap right now. And Duo Finn, I mean, he won a race a couple of races ago in fantastic style, a one stop. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him trying a very similar strategy here. Okay, 1 minute 30 to go. If drivers haven't crossed the start-finish line already, they're not going to get another lap in. Let's see if anybody is close to finishing a lap.
Casey's coming up to a scary chicane.
Ray, we've lost a driver. Yep, okay, so Casey is through a Ascari chicane. There are a few cars ahead of him, but we'll see if Casey can improve on his lap time. I'm not sure which driver it is that we've lost, but there was 14 of us in the lobby. So Casey round the parabolica then, taking the lightning-stricken car to the start-finish line. May be close enough for a little bit of slipstream. May not be close enough for a little bit of slipstream, but can he improve on his lap time? That's all we're really interested in. He can, but it's only going to be 4th place for him. Hulkenberg is back out on track, but I don't think he's got enough time to set another lap. Hesselden and Dave Hart are in the pits. Andy Russell has crossed the line. He's got himself into 5th place. Duo Finn is in 6th, heading up to the start finish. Go on, Duo. Improve that lap time. It's a 40.0. It's 5th place for him. That puts Andy Russell down to 6th. Neo Tig is in the pits in 7th. Richie Davies in the pits in 8th. Leomo McElroy coming around the final corner in 9th place at the moment. And that is it. Session over.
And I've been disconnected.
Oh, so you need an invite as well. Okay, no problem. So
it was
Woolhouse, okay, no problem. Qualifying positions then. Dave Hart takes pole position with Hesselden in 2nd place. Hulkenberg in 3rd. The top 3 drivers in the standings starting the race in 1st, 2nd and 3rd place. But I'm just going to quickly need to invite Ray in. So apologies for the blue screen, folks, but we're on to a practice session now. 5-minute practice session. It gives the drivers chance to get their fuel strategy sorted, pit stops sorted, anything else sorted that they need. Okay, Ray, I have sent yourself and Woolhouse a new invite.
Yep, I'm just coming. Hopefully, yep, it's loading up.
Hopefully you won't make too much of a mess. You'll get that eventually. Oh, Azamor! Oh, just had a big off at the De La Roja chicane there. Luckily not caused any damage to his car, but I mean that is something that the drivers will have to be cautious of around this track. If they have an off at high speed, they could easily find themselves in the wall, and we know what can happen to these cars, don't we, Ray, if they end up in the wall.
You could lose a wheel, or you could. I can't go to monitor or anything now. Oh, over there, I can now.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you could lose a wheel, but even if you don't lose a wheel, if you hit a wall hard enough, or even another car hard enough, you could very easily end up with damage on your vehicle that could just simply cost you lap time.
Yeah, especially suspension. Once that goes, you're struggling to keep it in a straight line.
I tell you what else, what else someone's struggling with. James Hulkenberg is struggling with the parabolica. I've seen him go off at the parabolica at least on 3 occasions now. I don't know whether it's just that he is carrying too much speed into there, whether he's braking too late, or whether he just doesn't feel like he's got the grip at the moment. It could be cold tyres causing a bit of a problem. It could just be that he's not comfortable. I mean, I don't know whether you have any information from Hulkenberg about whether he's feeling comfortable or confident about this particular race.
No, as far as I know, he was trading times with Dave the Hart, but I don't know if it's different weather conditions and he's just not feeling the car. Not in a kinky sense, I would.
Well, actually, knowing Hulkenberg, it probably is. At the end of the day, his seat is hugging his backside, so there probably is a bit of... yeah, I think we'll leave it there, shall we? Okay, Woolhouse is back.
I bet he got a mould of his missus' hands for his seat since she's away.
Yeah,
she's away. So
I bet I wouldn't be surprised as well, knowing Hulkenberg, that he's got the seat. It's a movable seat, so every time he goes over a curb, it clenches his backside. I wonder if he's named his car as well. James, if you do watch, we do apologise. I mean, well, we don't, because it's funny.
Don't find out his missus' name for the next time. I've been disconnected again.
Kinky Kate, probably. Okay, I'll send you another invite, Ray. A bit odd that you're getting disconnected. I can't send you another invite. See if you can join. Okay. See if you can join on my name. I think Woolhouse... no, Woolhouse is in. There's another driver. Now, I do know that PSN is having a lot of problems this evening. The thing is, there's only 45 seconds left of the session, so see if you can join through my name, Ray, in the chat party.
I've still got the same invite. I'll just...
Okay.
Failed. It's full or no longer available. I'll keep trying. Okay,
the lobby is still available, but there is only 30 seconds left, which might be why you can't get in at the moment. I'm just trying to see if I can quickly work out who else has disconnected. But as I mentioned, I do know that there are PSN problems this evening. Azamort. And unfortunately I can't send out any more invites, and it's getting to that point where no other driver is going to be able to rejoin for the race. Ray should be able to rejoin and still be able to spectate, hopefully. If not, it's going to be another tricky commentary for this evening. So 1 second to go, and then the drivers are going to be on the grid and it will be connected. But the drivers are now ready for the PCF round 6 here in Monza. The lights are nearly out, and Woolhouse may have joined or not rejoined. We don't know, but the drivers are away. Time to get retired and then see if we can get down to the front of the grid. Hulkenberg, I think he's lost a few places off the start. He's down to about 5th, maybe even 6th. Getting very tight around turn 1, little bit of contact around Hulkenberg and Kay Slay. It's going to get very tricky into the second chicane as they're trying to go too wide. Richie Davey and Andy Russell, followed by Neotig. If they go too aggressive too soon at this race, they could easily find themselves in the barriers with plenty of damage. Oh, we've got a car into the gravel. That could be Duofin. It was Duofin. He's losing places. He's now down to 6th. That's the trickiness of the De La Roggia chicane. You get into that gravel, you are just going to lose out massively. Up at the front, Hesselden has taken the lead off Dave the Harp and pulled out quite a gap already, but Dave knows he usually has the speed to catch him. And then we've got Kay Slay up to 3rd place with Hulkenberg in 4th, and an overtake being attempted a little further back through the Ascari chicane. It's not quite worked though for Neotig Jr. He ended up losing out a little bit and dipping a wheel in the gravel. Power boost penalty, and I think Richie Davies just had an off as well. I think he's now down to the back of the grid as Neotig loses a place to Lee Elmo McElroy. Oh, down at the Parabolica though, Duofin, he's gone so wide he's nearly in the gravel, and they got rid of most of it. It almost looks like a power boost penalty for him as well. Going to have to be careful of the drivers that are now coming around the final corner side by side. Further up the front though, Dave the Harp, he's already trying to attack Hesselden, so he's had a phenomenal first lap to try and close that lead back in. Then we've got Richie Davey taking 5th place. A nice move there through turn 1, and I'm guessing, Ray, you've not been able to get back to us yet?
No, it's still saying fuel or no longer available.
Well, very, very frustrating that. The only thing I can perhaps suggest then is perhaps trying to watch it on YouTube, and you may be able to help us out. Oh, just seen a driver take way too much curb. I think that was Woolhouse through the De La Roggia chicane. He's now lost a place. You get on that curb, it's just going to throw you off the circuit. Now the laps here are going to disappear fairly damn quickly. I tell you what, if you haven't tried it, Ray, go to the chat party and try joining the session on my name. It could be that the invites have expired, because it would be better if you were back in the commentary box with us. But however it can be done would be great, as a nice move being done by Andy Russell there. A lovely move on Woolhouse heading into the Ascari chicane. Can he now go and catch his good friend Richie Davey, who's in 4th place? Hulkenberg's in 3rd place, Dave the Harp 2nd, right behind Hesselden, perhaps close enough to have a look at attacking him down into turn 1. Oh, he's definitely close enough. Using the slipstream, pulls out side by side now down into turn 1, and it's still getting busy. So Dave takes the lead, 4th, 5th and 6th, getting very, very close. But Richie Davey looking safe at the moment for his position. Andy Russell's looking fairly confident in these cars around this track. He does know this circuit, perhaps doesn't know the cars too well, but I do think they have been practicing quite a lot, Andy Russell and Richie Davey, so I wouldn't be surprised if their pace is very, very similar. Andy Russell's actually having a look around the outside of Curva Grande. Richie Davey gets himself into defensive position for the second chicane, and Andy Russell realised it's single file through there. But he's definitely looking faster at this moment in time. Richie trying to fend him off, but Andy giving him a little bit of a nudge, sticking his friend into the gravel. But he doesn't care. He's going through. I tell you what, he's looking quick. He might even catch James Hulkenberg. But having said that, Hulkenberg has just reeled in the leaders by a long, long way in this particular lap. So, any news, Ray?
Trying and trying, nothing's coming. All it's still the same message. But I have got information for you though.
Go ahead.
If they're on the soft tyres, they'll make about 12 laps. But a full tank of fuel will not get you to the end of the race.
Oh, interesting. Can you do me a favour, Ray? You know how your dog at the end of your microphone and crapped it out the other day? Can you just move your microphone a little bit further away from your mouth, please? That is better. You see, what that foamy bit of the microphone does, it muffles out the breathing and clears up the speech. So yeah, and for anyone that doesn't know, yes, Ray's new puppy did eat the end of his microphone and crapped it out the next day. So you were saying that the soft tyres then could last 12 laps, which is half race distance. So it could be a one-stop race, but the drivers are going to have to put fuel in. So here's a question for you then, Ray. As a driver, you know you've got Richie Davey and Andy Russell still fighting for 5th place, and Richie Davey's got a power boost penalty. He may even lose a position to Woolhouse. He has done. And just behind him, Neotig's gone deep into the gravel. He's now under attack from Lielmo McElroy. Yeah, what I was going to say was, Ray, if you know you've got to pit and put a bit of fuel in, is this one of those races where you say, right, okay, let's just put enough fuel in to get halfway through the race and be as fast as possible?
Yeah, I'd do that. If I know I've got to make a pit, then I do it up till that pit stop, find out where I'm going to put my pit stop, put the fuel in till that pit stop, and then refill at that pit stop. Yeah.
Now, Lielmo McElroy and Neotig, they're battling hard through a Scari chicane. Neotig went defensive and had to, because Lielmo McElroy had a good run on him. Richie Davey, slightly further up the road though, had a bit of a messier Scari chicane. He's falling back into the clutches of these two as Elmo's going wide. That's going to cost him. That gives Neotig a little bit of a breather. Duo Fins down in 9th place, and I'm surprised by that. Driver Montana in 10th at the moment, and Kay Slay is in 11th. What on earth has happened to that young man? I'm wondering whether he's had to, perhaps he's had to pit, or perhaps had a bit of a crash somewhere. Okay, skip back through. Let's see what we've got going on. Up at the front, still Hulkenberg in 3rd place, trying to catch up to Hesselden in 2nd place, who is just about keeping hold of Dave the Hart. Dave's got current fastest lap though with a 1:39.223. Hesselden a 1:39.700, and Hulkenberg on a 1:39.885. So very, very close between these guys at the moment. But Dave the Hart, he needs to win this race. I tell you what, actually, looking at the points, Dave the Hart needs to win this race, and he needs Hesselden to come second. And the reason for that, the points gap between himself and Hulkenberg, 19 points. 25 for a win, 16 points for 3rd place. So that's what Dave needs, Hulkenberg to finish 3rd or lower, because we're getting to that point of the season where points mean prizes.
Yeah, do we not? Do we want another? We don't want Dave to win it again. Did he not win Fridays and Sundays?
No. Last season he didn't win the PCF League. He won the Sundays one because in the last race of the PCF, he rolled his car when he was leading and winning.
Right.
Yeah, was on for winning the championship, but he rolled his car, had it sat on its roof with absolutely nothing he could do about it. I tell you what I am a little bit surprised about here though. Andy Russell is in 4th place at the moment and looking absolutely on it in this car around this track. Now that I've said that, it's probably going to end up sticking it in the gravel somewhere. His lap time, a 1:41.653 at the moment. Can't quite keep pace with the leading trio. But the car behind him, Woolhouse, his best is a 1:41.5. So these two could get close if Woolhouse can just pull that gap in a little bit. Richie Davey in 6th place at the moment. Drivers getting a little bit spread out now. And for any of the drivers that have been disconnected and couldn't get back into the race, we do apologise. Not a lot we can do when the PlayStation Network decides to be... Oh, Richie Davey! Not when the PlayStation Network decides to be Richie Davey, but Richie Davey just tried taking his LMP2 to the airport by flying there. Way too much curb there. I mean, you mentioned it, Ray, about the Ascari chicane and the sausage curb. He hit it. He hit it so hard he ended up with all four wheels off the tarmac.
I'm just about to see it. Here it goes. You know what? Why that's happened tonight?
Go ahead. I have no idea.
Yeah, I spoke in the commentary box before we went live, saying the signal looks strong.
Yeah, you did actually. You were saying everyone's on a good, solid green signal, and for the likes of Azamor and Woolhouse, it's not gone that way at all.
Near myself.
Duofin is up to 8th place. He was in 9th place earlier. Lielmo McElroy may have pitted, may have had a crash. Car doesn't look damaged, but he is now down in 9th place. Driver Montana down in 10th place. I think he's struggling a little bit around this circuit. And K-Slate is in 11th place. Bit of a gap between those two. Now, I don't want to just solely focus on the leading trio in this race, but I think they are, I was going to say, the closest battle, but you know what? Dave the Harper's just pulled out. He's made that gap bigger and bigger. I think he's trying to send a bit of a signal here to Hesselden and even to his good friend Hulkenberg to say, no, I'm having this one, boys. I'm having this one all to myself. Now, I do know in previous...
Is he doing a smoke signal?
Quite possibly. I do know that Dave, on previous events, has tended to do more stops. So I don't know whether he's perhaps burning up his tyres. We're, 7 laps into the race? I don't know. I mean, the pace that Dave's doing at the moment, we may see him making a pit stop fairly soon if he is on a 2-stop strategy.
Well, it was him I got the information that lap 12 would do.
Well, so, in that case then, I wonder if he's either just fast at Monza or whether he has gone for fueling to halfway through the race, but Hesselden hasn't, and perhaps Hulkenberg hasn't. So we may see a lengthier pit stop for Dave the Harp. He's already into the Ascari chicane. We're not even going to get to see second place in view at the moment. Now we can. I can't see exactly what that gap is, but you know what? I am going to try and work it out. I'll find a marker point and find out exactly what that gap is. Now, if anyone is viewing the broadcast and wants to ask any questions, feel free to do so. If we can get to them, we will do. I'm just going to go quiet for a moment while I count.
I'm on a live chat anyway, so you can get your messages in and I'll ask Dave.
Okay.
Instead of ask Crofty, we'll ask Dave.
Yeah, ask Dave. The gap between Dave the Harp and Hesselden, 5 seconds. So, although it looks an enormous gap, it's not actually that big a gap. Now, Andy Russell still running in 4th place. Woolhouse just doesn't seem to be able to catch him. Their gap has stayed pretty much similar for the last few laps. And if the information from Dave the Harp is correct about the tyres lasting 12 laps, we've got about 4 laps to go until we get to pit stops, and anything can happen in those pit stops. We've had a few drivers complaining so much about their useless pit crews dropping their nuts. Richie Davey still in 6th place. Go on, Ray, sounds like you're about to say something there.
No, I was saying that I'm writing a message, that's why I never filled in your pause.
That's alright. I'll just tell her funny and listen for the tumbleweeds to fly by. I don't know. It's so lonely when you're in the commentary box all on your own. And now all I can think of is the Team America movie where the baddie, the Korean, sings that song. I'm so wee, and that's about as much of that song that I'm gonna sing. So yeah, Richie Davies still in 6th place. Don't you start laughing now, Ray? It's too late. It's too late to laugh now. America, yeah.
You may get the squirrel in with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's see, Neo Tig. I tell you what. He's got a car catching him up. Come on, Duo Finn, give us a battle, mate. Go and take the fight to him. We'll change your name to Duo Fight. Neo Tig's in the pits. He is. He's in the pits. He's still got 14 laps to do. That could be a little early. But he's just robbed us of a fight. So, Duo, don't fight. You just go and catch up the next guy. Now, it's an interesting... I mean, Monza's one of those racetracks where... setups the drivers use could be so different that potential lap times or potential tyre wears can vary so much. Hey, I tell you what though, we've got 4th place Andy Russell with 5th place Woolhouse not far behind him, and I think we've got a car out of position. We have. I think that's driver Montana. I was about to say we're going to have a real good 4-car battle, but it's a car out of position. And I think he's actually just lost it. He's disappeared. Maybe just coping well with the blue flags. No, he's struggling. He's definitely struggling. So let's see if Joe Finn can get past him without any issues. Yep, won't be a problem for him. Okay, leaders, what are you doing? Dave the Harp continued on. Hesselden, he's continued on. Hulkenberg has continued on as well. And he's dropped off from the back of Hesselden by a long way on these last 2 laps.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Hesselden not comfortable then?
Well, no, it's Hulkenberg that's dropped off from Hesselden. I haven't checked whether Hesselden's dropped. Yeah, I mean, it's not often we've said it. I think Hulkenberg is just not on it at the moment. I don't know what it is. Maybe his late nights editing movies. I know which type. I'll let the viewers make up their own thoughts and rumours about what type they are. Or maybe we'll have to see what sponsors he's actually got on his car. Can you see any bunnies? No, not at the moment. Anyway.
They'll be editing with that seat with the hands clenching his front cheek.
Oh yeah. Andy Russell has pitted. He's leaving the pits now. Leomo McElroy has just gone past him. Woolhouse has pitted as well. Kay Slay, he's going to have people to race against because he's now in 8th place. He's got 2 cars that have just come out of the pits, one ahead, one behind. Come on, guys. Give us some action. So we've got Elmo McElroy 6th, just ahead of Andy Russell, just ahead of Kay Slay, just ahead of Woolhouse.
I think Chris Core 69 is asking what weather do we expect on Bathurst Sunday's race?
Okay, the weather
from pushing down to sunny.
Yeah, the weather forecast that I have seen for the PCS race, the Project Car Sundays race in the Ginetta G55 GT3s around Bathurst is beautiful sunny barbecue weather with the chance of a tropical storm. So yeah, anything could happen at that one. I'm afraid we can't get it confirmed exactly, but there is a threat of torrential rain around the Bathurst circuit this weekend. Hopefully it'll be a nightmare. It would be an absolute nightmare. I mean, hopefully we will have beautiful sunshine, but at the end of the day, the weather is the weather, and it kind of controls itself. Oh, we've got a car spinning in a straight line. No, it's Leomo McElroy with a little bit of a connectivity issue there. Hopefully he's going to be able to keep racing, but he's definitely got a bit of a problem going on. Hulkenberg's down to 5th place. He's pitted. He must have pitted, because if he hasn't pitted, he's had an absolute nightmare. Duo Finn's up to 4th place, and he's now right behind Richie Davey. So we are now getting a few fights going on. I was about to say, Ray, keep an eye on whether the leaders are going to pit. Yeah. I don't know. I'll let you know that we're racing at Monza and you bugger off to Spain.
No, I'm in Scotland. It's freezing. I'd rather be in Monza.
I'll tell you what, though, Duo Finn, he's having a go at Richie Davey side by side, heading up to the Ascari chicane. He can't quite get past, though. Richie Davey may be able to keep the inside line, but if he takes too much of that curb, he'll go airborne again. That's going to give Duo Finn a better exit out of the Ascari chicane. He now needs that slipstream to really benefit him heading down to the Parabolica. Quick look. Dave the Harp's pitted. Hesselden hasn't. So Duo Finn slipstreaming on now. Could go for the move, but I think... Oh, he is going for the move as Richie has a little bit of a wiggle. So ahead, Duo Finn goes then around the Parabolica. Are we going to see either of these heading to the pits? Yes, Richie Davey is. So that's going to allow Hulkenberg to go past, retake 4th place. Duo Finn is in 3rd. Dave the Harp, he's managed to stay in 2nd place, having made his pit stop. Hesselden, he can't be, can he? He can't. I tell you, if a set of option tyres around here last 12 laps, does that mean a set of mediums or hards could last 24?
I bet he needs to pit for fuel. Well, as far as I'm aware, they need to pit for fuel, but whether he's taking it light on the fuel and then going to hammer it later, well, that could be interesting.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, the fuel gauge may say... I mean, did they actually tell you how many laps the fuel will last?
No, my source never told me how long it would last. It just said it wouldn't last.
It wouldn't last the whole race. Okay, so let's say, for example, then, the fuel will only last 22 laps. You could get it to the end. But that's going to mean doing a lot of lifting and coasting and a lot of fuel saving. It can be done. You can get that fuel, but it would be so difficult to do. Hulkenberg is now catching up to Duo Finn fairly quickly. Is he going to go for moving to the Parabolica? No. He's got better tyres on the car. And Duo Finn's running a little bit wide. Hulkenberg's right up his rear end. No, he's right around the outside of him as they go side by side up to turn 1. This is now going to potentially make it tricky to keep this overtake because Duo Finn's still there. Hulkenberg may have been better off to back off a bit, use the slipstream, but he is ahead. Duo Finn looking though for the move back into turn 1. Can't quite get it done, so that's Hulkenberg up to 3rd place. Hesselden still hasn't pitted. 11 laps to go. I'll tell you what though, Hulkenberg's coming under pressure now from Duo Finn, who's fighting back. He's not willing to give it up, and I like to see this. Come on, Duo Finn. Duo fight. Come on. He's having it. He's putting the pressure on. Well, Hulkenberg has caught him quick, so he can't afford to let him run away.
Just wait till the Parabolica put him out of position. He doesn't like it there.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a good idea. Jason, if you're listening, tell Duo Finn to do him in the Parabolica. No, he can't. Duo Finn, he's off. He's into the barrier. He's got a problem. That's a technical problem, that is. I'm wondering if he's fallen.
It's a wee bit shiny.
Duo Finn's gone. Duo Finn is out of this race. Whatever that technical issue was, it's just cost him 4th place. It's put Andy Russell up to 4th. Jason, we told you to tell him to do him at the Parabolica, not disappear before the Parabolica. Oh dear. Oh, it's all over for Duo Finn. But Andy Russell, he's quite happy now in 4th place, but we've got a bit of a battle going on. 5th, 6th and 7th, Richie Davey trying to close that gap. Neotic still running in 8th. Kay Slay's in 9th. Driver Montana in 10th. So, the battle to keep an eye out on then, right now, is Woolhouse. He's sliding that car all over the place. The car behind is a little bit wide, and I'm about to cough as Richie Davey catches him up. Excuse me, sorry about that one, folks. I tell you what, Richie Davey's got so much more straight line speed. He's just breezed past Elmo McElroy even before they got to the Parabolica, and Elmo McElroy is now wide around that corner. 10.
Tyre coming in. I don't know.
It is Elmo McElroy is in the pit, so could have definitely have been tyre wear for him. Hulkenberg got a car ahead of him, but it's driver Montana. Go on, Ray.
What the guys have got to watch is there could be a chance of some light rain, so...
I tell you what, I mean, you mentioned that, and you mentioned something a few laps ago about the track looking shiny. It's not looking as... down at turn 1, it's beautifully sunny, but all the way down the start-finish straight, there's no bright, clear sunshine on that. So, I mean, you're right. If the weather changes, it could mix everything up. So the drivers have got to be... I mean, you can see here around Curva Grande, beautiful sunshine, but then heading into the Della Roggia chicane, I've probably been naming that one wrong all session, it's in the shade. The exit's in the sun. We've got a bit of cloud cover coming in, folks. And a lot of marbles on this racetrack now. I tell you what, I'm fairly certain that Hesselden, he's trying a one-stop. It's brave. It's very brave if he is trying it. I wonder if he knows that the fuel won't last, or whether he is saving fuel.
And Hulkenberg would have had to be saving fuel as well, because Hulkenberg's pitted, but I don't know how long he pitted for, if it was a long while.
That is true. Don't know how long his stop was, but for those drivers that have stopped, I'm sure they would have topped up their fuel. Okay, quick look at the track map to see. Let's see, Dave the Harp is the arrow, and first place is around the Parabolica. That's the gap. It's a big one, but if Hesselden was to pit, he'd come out behind Dave the Harp. But Hesselden isn't pitting. He's continuing on. 8 laps to go.
A non-stopper? That'd be...
interesting. I mean, we've seen one-stops this season. We haven't seen non-stops. Now, Richie Davey and Woolhouse, they're now the closest battle. Richie Davey trying to apply a plenty amount of pressure onto Woolhouse, trying to turn that Woolhouse into a gravel trap house. Oh, and I'll tell you what, he wasn't far off, ended up in the gravel there as he makes his way through the Lesmos. 2 brilliant corners, but you get one of your front wheels on the apex curbs, it can easily spin the car around, or if you just go a slightly bit wide, you can easily get sucked off into the gravel.
The track sucked me off.
Oh, Woolhouse, he's not as quick through Ascari, he's sliding, he's struggling. Richie, much better line through the Ascari chicane. He's got slipstream. He's done a few moves already down into the Parabolica. He's on for another one as they both have a little bit of a wiggle. But Richie Davey is now ahead as can Woolhouse answer back in the slipstream heading up to turn 1. I don't think he can, because Richie Davey's going for a Richie Davey defensive line. Woolhouse, it'd be a good idea to slipstream him, my friend. Either that or he's just thinking, stay on the racing line, keep my tyres clean and hope that Richie Davey outbrakes himself into the first corner, which he hasn't done. Neotic into the pits. I think that's for the second time for him. So it is a 2-stop strategy for Neotic. Casey's coming around the Parabolica and he's going to take the position off him. I don't know whether K early on... but he is running only in 8th place at the moment. And I tell you what, Ray, you mentioned about the weather. I'm fairly sure I can see rain. I can see rain. It's raining. 7 laps to go. And I tell you what, Neotic has just pitted. If this comes into needing a change of tyres, this could change absolutely everything. Hulkenberg's into the pits. So it is a 2-stop strategy for Hulkenberg. Either that or he's seen the rain and thought, I'm not wasting any time. But the rain is falling. Dave the Harp's continued on. Hesselden's around the Lesmos. So with 7 laps to go then. Oh, now Ray, if you're watching from your living room in Scotland on YouTube, you'll see the rain falling and then you'll be able to tell me what you would do at this point. Would you pit for a change of tyres? Or if you were Hesselden going for a one-stop, do you say, let's just keep going?
7 laps to go. I'd wait to see how hard it gets. I'll probably wait too late, knowing me. But but the only weather we get in Scotland is rain, so I should be okay.
He's going for the pits. Hesselden's going for the pits. Now, I was going to say, it doesn't look like it's raining too heavily, but there are a few puddles appearing down this straight, heading towards the Parabolica. We can see a few of them there, so it could be beginning to rain quite heavy now. Dave the Harp, is he going to pit for another set of tyres? He doesn't need to, unless it is for an intermediate set of tyres. He's going for the pits. He's in the pits. That means Hesselden could keep hold of this lead. Hulkenberg's in third place, but he's only at the Lesmos. But I don't know if he's on slick tyres or inters. Hesselden is on his way again. Coming out of the pits now, he's going to keep first place. Dave the Harp.
So he hasn't added fuel then, because that's a quick stop.
It wasn't a particularly long one, but with only 6 laps to go, it would have only needed a splash and dash. Now, is Hulkenberg going to catch up on Dave the Harp at all? Making his way down towards the Parabolica now. And Dave is on the move, so Hulkenberg's not going to catch him. Woolhouse is in 4th place, sideways through the Ascari chicane. He's struggling. I think he's perhaps kept slick tyres on that car, sliding all the way through the chicane. So perhaps it is time for a set of intermediate tyres, or it's time to just really put some temperature through the slicks. But he was definitely struggling through there. Is he going to make his way towards the pits? Yes, he is. He's into the pits. That's got to be for a brand new set of intermediate tyres. Andy Russell in 5th place. I'm guessing he must have pitted as well. So has he gone for another set of slicks or a set of inters? Unfortunately, I do not know for certain. If he starts heading into the pits, then we know it'll be for a set of inters. But no, he's continuing on. So that could and should gain him an additional place. Yes, he's now back up to 4th place.
And the reason Joe Finn, if I've said it right, sorry if I've got it wrong, he said, sorry guys, had a power cut, lost electricity from his house for about 2 to 3 minutes, so that's why.
Oh, huge disaster for Duo Finn then. When you're driving a hybrid car, the last thing you need is a power cut. Casely, he's in the pits. That's got to be for a set of intermediate tyres. Lielmo McElroy's continued on. Neotic, he is back into the pits, and I tell you what, the rain is now falling heavier and heavier. Lielmo McElroy's gone up to 7th place. Richie Davey, he's in 6th. Woolhouse is in 5th. Andy Russell is in 4th. Hulkenberg is in 3rd place. Dave the Harp's in 2nd. Can he see Hesselden? No, he can't. Hesselden is a long way down the road. I tell you what, I reckon this rain couldn't have come at a better time for Hesselden, because if he did need to pit for a little bit of fuel, it worked out perfectly for him.
Yeah. And if that's light rain, I want to see what heavy rain's like. Jesus.
you want to wait until if you haven't seen it. Heavy fog with heavy rain. You can't see a ruddy thing. But I tell you what though, Ray, I reckon it's time for you to try and do a Dave the Harp impression, because he's done what is a 2-stop strategy. He was leading the race and he's off. He's into the gravel. He's into the gravel at the Lesmos. I'm wondering if he put a set of slick tyres back on that car on his 2nd stop. But yeah, perhaps time for you to do a Dave the Harp impression, because Hesselden has just perhaps called this one absolutely bang on.
That'd be, oh, beep, 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 beep. Beep, beep, beep.
Dave the Harp, Morse code and smoking at the same time. I tell you what, it's still looking fairly quick though, but it almost looks like the sun's coming out a little bit of the Ascari chicane again, but heading down in towards the Parabolica, it is getting heavier, this rain, as Dave tries to work his way back over to the racing line, going ahead of a car in a blue flag situation who has run off the track. They're struggling for grip in their car. But Hesselden, he's already around Curva Grande. The gap between Hesselden and Dave the Harp, it's going to be less than a pit stop in length. But it's still an enormous gap. Oh, I think that might be Casely. Or it could be Richie Davey that was testing the grip levels in the gravel trap there. It's definitely raining harder now down at the Lesmos. I mean, I can hear you giggling.
It's like a shower. I could fill my bath up with that rain.
Well, it's interesting, you know, because at parts of the track it doesn't look like it's raining that heavily, and at other parts it looks like it's absolutely hammering it down. I don't think these are conditions that would suit a set of slick tyres, if I'm honest, but we don't know for certain exactly what tyres the drivers are on.
It'd be good if they can implement a colour wall on the tyres that like F1 does, so that we could see it for viewing.
Well, I do know some of the tyres do have, on some of the classes of cars, do have different markings, but when the cars are doing 150, 160 mile an hour, it's not so easy to see them. I mean, what would be good is if on perhaps, say, the timing screen, it had a little symbol on there to tell you what tyres they were on, but it doesn't, so not much we can do about that. Andy Russell, 4th place. I tell you, there's big gaps pretty much now between all of the drivers. Oh, we've got Richie Davey. It's just, as soon as I say that, Richie Davey overtakes Woolhouse. He's out of fuel. He's either got a massive, huge power boost penalty or he's out of fuel, but that looks to me like a... Yeah, power boost penalties, he's just sped up again. I was going to say it looked like he was flashing his lights, like hazard warning lights then, but then he's now getting back up to speed. Either that or his hybrid engine has just taken over. But that has cost him a position, so maybe he just went very, very deep into turn 1. Gap between 6th and 7th now quite large as well. Gap between 8th and 9th quite large, so a few cars near each other on track, but not for position. And I think this wet weather has just thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works for a few of these drivers. Perhaps not what they were expecting, but weather is weather and it will just do what it wants to do.
I know it's not mandatory to flash your lights when you've got a power boost penalty, but that was good thinking from, was it Wilhouse that done it?
Yep.
To warn other drivers, because sometimes they would just go straight right into the back.
Well, it depends on whether when you flash your headlights it flashes your brake lights as well, because if it doesn't, it doesn't help anyone that's behind him. Oh, it does, that's alright then. Oh, who's that that's just spun? It's Leomo McElroy. He's just lost it down at turn 1. That's cost him a little bit of time. I'll tell you what, I was going to...
Andy Russell 4th.
Andy Russell is in 4th, yeah. Richie Davies in the pits. I tell you what, that he was on a set of intermediate tyres. You can see the grooves on his tyres there. They're not slicks, either that or they've just gone on. So I can definitely say that Richie Davey at some point has ran tyres that have got tread on in this race. But yes, Andy Russell is in 4th. So if someone is watching and asked you that question, Andy Russell in 4th? Yes, he is. So who asked? Oh,
no,
guess.
It was me.
Oh, right, it's you. Okay, Ray, something's just happened. Can you guess what it was?
A disconnection?
No, Hulkenberg went wide at the Parabolica. Hey, I've just, right, new name for James Hulkenberg from now on after the Monza Grand Prix. James Hulkenbolica. Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh, but we've got to make some kind of entertainment here in these wet conditions because the drivers are too far apart to create a race.
You'll be sitting there going, they're picking on me tonight, it's picking on Hulkenbolica tonight.
Well, if you're going to lead the championship, you've got to be prepared for some attention. I tell you what, though, it would be... I mean, I said earlier on, Dave the Harp needs Hulkenberg to finish 3rd or lower. It did mean Dave the Harp winning the race, but he's currently in 2nd place. I mean, with the standings as they are, with Hesselden leading the race, and now with only 1 lap to go, this would put Hesselden on 106 points. It would put Dave the Harp on 107 points. It would put James Hulkenberg on 122 points. So very, very close up at the top of the table in the PCF.
Guess what, Dave?
What, Ray? What is it, Ray? What have you got for me?
I got into the lobby.
You guys, yeah, you one lap to go, and now you're coming. Oh, you.
I
don't know. Talk about part-timers. I don't know. Using the excuse of my dog eating the microphone and all that jazz. Oh, I don't know. It's disgraceful. Anyway. It'd be interesting to know how the drivers have felt this race has gone, because from about halfway through it's just got very, very spread out, and the rain hasn't closed them up at all. But Hesselden's going through the Ascari chicane for the final time, and as we've seen in previous races, he has just been absolutely spot on all the way through the race. I would love to know whether he was planning a no-stop strategy. I tell you what we'll do, right?
But I'll see if Chris Cotter can know.
Well, he might do, but Hesselden is about to cross the finish line for the final time here in Monza. Very well done to himself. Dave the Harp is in second place. I think he should be fairly pleased with that result, although he will probably rue the fact that the rain came and possibly scuppered his strategy, meaning he couldn't quite catch Hesselden. But second place it will be for him as he gets ready to cross the line in Monza, and the sun's coming out down the start finish for Dave the Harp. Second place it will be. And for James Hulkenberg, if there's anyone that's going to be a little bit disappointed, I think it will be Mr. Hulkenbolica, because the Parabolica has absolutely given him a tough one here. But he is going to cross the line in third place and still lead the drivers' standings on to round 6. And it says Woolhouse is in fourth place, but I'm fairly sure it's Andy Russell. And if it is Andy Russell in fourth place, then I tell you what, this is going to be one of the best races I'll have ever seen him have. The positions do tend to get a little bit mixed up before we get confirmation. Cheers, Project Cast, for that one. But in the Kratos Twist Coast car, Andy Russell could be crossing the line in fourth place. And the sun is definitely coming out now. Is it going to be fourth place for him? It is fourth place for Andy Russell. Very well done to him. Oh, and I tell you what, if this is correct, we've got Woolhouse and Casely fighting it out for fifth and sixth place. It probably isn't, right? And one of them's back in the pits already. Okay. That was a little bit odd. Perhaps they ran out of time there. I wouldn't have expected it. But the finishing order, by the looks of it, is Hesselden in first, Dave the Harp second, James Hulkenberg third, Andy Russell fourth, Woolhouse in fifth, Casely sixth, Neotig seventh, Leomo McElroy eighth, Driver Montana ninth, Richie Davey, I don't think he finished.
Yeah, Chris Cotter said can be, if he picked a hard compound and full fuel, then yeah, it was possible he was going to no-stopper.
I tell you what, I know we've had a few people through the course of this season ask for podium interviews. So what do you say we start them, Ray?
Okay, who's that again?
Well, I think, is it your chat party or is it my chat party? Okay, I tell you what.
Except for the
send Hesselden, although he's already gone offline. Hesselden, Dave the Harp, and James Hulkenberg an invite into the chat party. We'll see if we can have a bit of a chat with them. So I do know podium interviews is something that was going to bring in next season, but I would just really like to know whether Hesselden was going to go and non-stop that race, and what he would have had to have done to look after the fuel. Now we may find out that he Oh, he's joined us. It's straight in. He knows what's coming. He's had Chris Core tell him already. Go and join their chat point. Hesselden, hello. We're still on the live stream. We're still live on air. So try not to swear. But we're going to have a bit of chat with the top 3 drivers from that race, because I'm interested to get a little bit of information from you guys. So Hesselden and Dave the Harp, if you can just make sure you've got your microphones allowed to be shared in the party settings, and you as well, James, if you could just make sure you got your settings set to shared, because there's a couple of bits of information I'd really like to get out of you guys. So Hesselden, can you hear us? Can you understand me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, when Ray talks, I can hear you, and when Ray talks, you won't be able to understand a bloody word he says.
How you doing, mate?
You almost sounded southern then, Ray. Hesselden, okay, I've got one major question for you. Was you non-stop in that race?
No, I couldn't get to about 19, 20 laps. So when the rain came, I was very happy. I
thought you might be. I mean, if you knew you couldn't get to the end, how come you didn't pit a bit earlier? Was you on hard tyres, soft tyres? Because it would have been a late stop.
I was on the hards, and I read the weather thing on Facebook, and I just thought rain might come later on. Just had a gamble, pretty much.
Well, it worked. It really, really worked. Another fantastic drive from you. I'm going to ask Dave the Harp, though. Well, Dave, did that rain come at the wrong time for you? It came at the right time for him. Did it come at the wrong time for you?
Well, I've just been talking to James, and I didn't even think about rain. Once the fog lifted, I thought that was it. I thought Hesselden's got a pit now for his fuel, and that's it. And then here comes the rain.
Fog? There wasn't any fog. If there was fog, Dave, you need to open your window.
It looked.
That was a haze at qualifying.
It looked pretty smoggy.
It'd be the heat haze. So when you made your second stop, was that a planned stop for dries, and were you on the dries, or did you go for the intermediates?
No, I was on the soft tyres at the start. The plan was to stop at lap 12, which we would make quite easily, and then just finish the race on the soft tyres with the 12 laps. But obviously done my scheduled pit stop, and then the rain came, so we had to go in again.
So, well, it was a good effort. Perhaps a little disappointed that Hesselden ended up with the lead that he did there. Did it surprise you that he went as long as he did?
No, I didn't even have to pit on lap 12. The tyres, they were still had good pace in them. I don't know if you've seen any of the lap times, but I've done a good lap time on lap 11, I think it was. Low 38. So they were still good, I could have carried on.
Well, unlucky anyway. Second place is, and I'll tell you what, it is very, very close on the points between you and Hesselden. Hulkenberg's a little bit further ahead, although the gap has come down. Now, James, we saw you struggle a little bit at certain points throughout that race, and you've now got a new name.
Oh yeah.
James Hulkenbolica, because you hate the Parabolica.
Oh aye. Well, I tell you something.
It's the leg moves, isn't it?
Yeah. We were like, are they the Parabolica? Is that the Lesbos? I'm like, oh, can't remember. Degners, that's it. Where am I getting Degners from? I don't know.
Degners is Suzuka. Yes.
Yeah, I was getting completely confused, McCarns.
Yeah, but anyway. So, was you struggling with the Parabolica, and where was your pace, man? You lead in the standings.
Oh, man.
I heard you were as fast as Dave the Harp, and he's give you a bit of a spanking.
No, I tell you, I was saying to Dave, if that had been a full-on dry race, Dave should easily won that. He had so good pace. and I seem to have decent pace in the first 6 laps, and then my tyre wear just came in the front left, just died, and I was like, no. So really, I should have decided to pit on lap 8, have better pace throughout the race, but like I say, it did say it possibility of rain, but I was like, well, maybe it might think about it, but then it might not. So I was like, oh, we got 70% through the race. I thought, oh, this is sweet. Come round Parabolica, and it just started raining. I was like, and then literally within 5 seconds, I saw a puddle. I thought, well, I've got to pit now. So stay out, I'm off.
Well, it was very interesting because the rain did look quite light, but as you mentioned, puddles appeared very, very quickly. But anyway, 3rd place for you, still leading the drivers' standings.
Oh, sorry to be a pain. Did you manage to capture the moment where I went all the way around the outside somebody into Parabolica?
Probably not. No, we probably only caught. We probably only caught the times you went off.
That's going to be uploaded to YouTube. That were around the outside. That were epic. But the rest of the race were pretty shocking.
Yes. That's all we're saying. No one. Okay.
There's always something to hold on to.
Oh, these guys aren't going to get that. I don't know if you meant it that way, Ray, but that's quite funny. If it's on about Hulkenberg's seat. But anyway, right. Hesselden, back to you. Spa is the next location for the PCF. You've had some great races this season, some great victories. Is Spa going to be another one?
Hopefully, yeah. I'll give it a practicing, see how I get on.
No, it's not.
There's more corners at Spa, so I expect this to be a better battle at Spa.
Well,
yeah, definitely a 3-horse race now.
Yeah.
It definitely is. If I worked out the points correct, I think Hulkenberg's on 122 points. Hesselden is on 107 points, and Dave, I think, is on 106 points, or something like that. There's only a point between Hesselden and Dave the Harp, and Hulkenberg's around about 12 ahead, or something like that. 12-15 ahead. It's close. And you got round 7, 8, 9 and 10.
Flip your car in the last race and
Yep, that is true. There's only 4 races to go. 100 points maximum on offer. Time for you guys to knuckle down and fight for that title. Right, I'm going to bring this to an end now because it's been quite a long day for me with tricky commentaries this evening. So next up on the Front Row Racing YouTube channel will be on Sunday for the PCS race, Project Car Sundays. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. for X amount of laps around Bathurst. I can't remember how many. In the Ginetta G55 GT3s, where the weather looks like it's going to be beautiful barbecue weather, but you might need an umbrella. And that's pretty much all from us this evening. So I've been from Row Racing DP. He's been from Row Racing RI.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you very much to all of the drivers. Thank you to the viewers. And if you want to keep up to date on the standings, find from Row Racing on Facebook. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all again soon.